Hi, I'm going to go over today a little bit about what we do in the office chiropractically. Chiropractic care is our bread and butter. We do a lot of lifestyle medicine coaching in the office, a lot of functional work, but chiropractic care is our bread and butter. These are just some basic facts about chiropractic that were published in JMPT in May of 2007. Chiropractic, it was a 7-year study. It was done from 2000 2006, published in 2007, that showed that chiropractic patients generally have less intervention medically, right? So we see that 60% fewer hospital admissions among chiropractic patients. We see 59% fewer days spent in the hospital, 62% less outpatient surgery, and 85% less cost of pharmaceuticals. This is great for two reasons. One, it means that there's less intervention, so there's less potential complication. And two, it's saving for the patient. It saves time, it saves energy, it saves effort, it saves suffering, right? And it saves your overall health and well-being. So many times people will ask, well, why is chiropractic still marginalized by the healthcare community? They've embraced so many others. Well, most of it is because of the bottom line in the pocketbook. If you were a business, big pharma, big medicine, not the average doctor sitting on a corner treating patients. I get quite a number of referrals from doctors, work with doctors all the time, but big pharma, big medicine, if somebody moves in next door and is decreasing your profiteering by 50, 60, 70, 85%, you do not want them to be your competitor. And this is part of the reason, or the biggest reason, why medicine continues to marginalize chiropractic, because lifestyle medicine does not fit in the profit model for typical healthcare medicine. The next slide here talks about the likelihood of surgery for workers with lower back injury. I always recommend, if there's an injury, any type of injury, but this study was done using workman's comp. If there's an injury, always go to the chiropractor first. The reason is that if your first point of contact with a low back injury is a medical doctor or a surgeon, you're 42% likely outcome, 42% chance that you're going to get surgery at some point as a recommendation, and then follow through with that recommendation. If your very first interaction is with a chiropractor, your potential chance of surgery is 1.5%, which means you're 42 times, maybe not 42 if I did the math here, at least 30 times more likely to be getting surgery. If your first point of contact is a medical doctor or a surgeon, you're significantly less likely to get surgery as an outcome if your first point of contact is a chiropractor. Chiropractic care is a safe and smart treatment option. Doesn't mean we don't refer to surgeons regularly, which is why sometimes they get it, but conservative care is the best option to start with. Chiropractic care decreases disease, illness, pain, aches, injuries, bad posture, depression, prescription drug use, and anxiety. And chiropractic care improves mobility, life strength, immune system, well-being, happiness, stress, sleep, and health. And we ask, how does this happen? Why does this happen? So let me go over the why this is important and how does chiropractic produce these results. The first why. Modern medicine is no answer for these 4 chronic diseases, right? And we could see the 4 horsemen of chronic disease, or the 4 horsemen of death: cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's or dementia, age-related memory problems, right? Cardiovascular, cancer, neurodegenerative disease, and metabolic disease. They're responsible for around 80% of mortality, death worldwide, yet modern medicine has no answer for this. And if it did, we wouldn't see skyrocketing rates of cancer among young people, skyrocketing rates of diabetes, skyrocketing rates of heart disease among young people, and skyrocketing rates of neurodegenerative disease if modern medicine had the answer, right? So that's the first why we choose chiropractic. The second is modern medicine is no answer for avoiding frailty. There's no pill, potion, lotion. There's no cream or any sort of a drug intervention that's going to help you avoid frailty the way that lifestyle will, right? Oh, there's going to be a pill for that. Well, there isn't. There really isn't. So that's another reason why we lean toward chiropractic. So how do we do it? We look at the 5 factors of health. They spell the word dream. These are factors that you have the power to change. These are factors that are under your direct control. So the first one is D, diet. The things you put in your mouth, chew and swallow. R is rest, recuperation, rebuilding. The third is E, energy production, both at a macro level, like what's your stamina, your intensity of exercise, how much energy can you produce, what's your at a cellular level as well. The anatomy of the body, how's your range of motion, your strength, your balance, coordination, and are you living pain-free so that you can do exercise? And then your fifth one is mental fitness. Well, how much do you feel that you're part of a society, that you have purpose? How much stress are you able to manage? And each of these are very important. And the how of this is done to make improvements. We do more than just crack the back, right? So in chiropractic, the chiropractic adjustment impacts the anatomy of the body, but we also prioritize lifestyle needs. We triage. Wherever your needs are, we meet them. So diet, rest, energy production, mental fitness, and anatomy of the body. So for instance, we choose a starting point. Where do we start? This car here, this might need, a car might need an oil change. It might need a windshield replacement. It might need a window washer fluid. It might need a turn up. Who knows what it needs? But right now, there's a flat tire. So that's the primary need. So the body might need multiple things, but we're going to start with where the body's primary needs are first. So the very first thing is, let's look and see, right? So 1, we identify the most pressing issue. 2, we apply a solution based on critical thinking and problem assessment. 3, we assess the outcome of the intervention. And then 4, we return to step 1. So let's model some interventions from in the dream order. The first one is diet. We work with patients. We customize a diet to your body. We want to increase that abundance of healthy foods in your body and remove damaging foods. We want to increase micronutrient and macronutrient concentrations, supplement for deficiencies. We want to improve the body's overall microbiome, not only in the gut, but the whole body's microbiome, and address GI issues as needed. This is the way that we usually factor most of our intervention from diet, this is a major impact. This has a major ability to impact almost every patient we work with. We work on diet. Unfortunately, there's no specific rule book because we're all individuals. We have an individual need with our diet. The second is our rest and recovery. We want to create a healthy sleep schedule, repair damaged tissue during sleep, recover during downtime. We want to build new healthy tissue, regenerate our cellular energy, restore mental focus, synaptic pruning or brain cleaning. When we sleep, our brain gets rid of the metabolites by shrinking down, squeezing out those metabolites like a sponge, and then reattains its original size, sucking in healthy nutrients. That takes 7 to 8 hours. That's why we need a good, healthy sleep schedule. And again, every individual's needs are different, but we tackle these based on triage order and degree of importance. Another is energy production. We look at cellular energy, mitochondrial health, and overall metabolic health. A lot of this we can look at not only the way that you look physiologically, but we can do some blood work, and labs can help us understand this better. Hormone and peptide balance in the bodies. Your physical stamina, how much, can you run, go up and down steps? Can we do a step test to determine your overall cardiovascular stamina? The storage and breakdown of fat, that's a chemical process, a biochemical process that's mediated by activity, diet, hormones in the body, and regulating hunger and fullness signaling. All these are associated with energy production in the body. Then we talk about anatomy of the body. An anatomy of the body is strength and muscle development. We talk about, again, cardiovascular endurance, flexibility, and posture. We also talk about removing visceral fat, changing the body's anatomy, changing the way the body's expressing its genes based on our environmental interactions. Our gait, our movement and balance, hardness of bone, hardness of joint, hardness of ligament, and the number one here is to alleviate pain, because if you have pain, you can't do any of the others. Right? You can't function. Your pain is going to affect your sleep. Your pain is going to affect your mental fitness. Your pain is going to affect your energy production, your anatomy. It affects everything. It even drives you to eat when you're in pain to help us self-soothe. And then the last one on here is your mental fitness. We want a focused mindset. A lot of times we'll talk about meditation or breath work. We also talk about using an appropriate decision making, like, oh, here's a donut, here's a bagel. What am I going to do? Well, you know what? Maybe let's not eat, right? Let's find something else, right? If there's two bad choices, an appropriate decision might be like not making a choice at all. A sense of purpose, stoicism, working hard for the sake of hard's sake, and then engaging in routines. And all these add up to better mental fitness. This is an important concept here. Human decision is made by emotion and influenced by information. We think we're guided by free will, but mostly we're not, because our experiences influence our choices, right? So your free will might be like, oh, you know what, I want to go touch that match. Well, the match is lit, it's a fire, right? Like your free will, but you're going to be reticent to touch it because the pain that you know you're going to have. Like you could try to bite through, I have free will, I'm going to bite through my cheek. You know, I get a little bit harder, it hurts. My free will is going to be impacted by the pain that I'm experiencing, right? Lastly here, I like this picture because it shows you can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But if you make the horse thirsty enough, you can force him to drink, right? So if you've gotten to the point where your body is degenerated enough, you will make those decisions to drive you forward. All right, so use this information to help guide your health in the future.